Sydney 30 defeated Manly 12 yesterday at Redfern Oval. I think all of us saw the game. The sad last vestige of pride perhaps gone from the Manly team of 1978, who did so marvellously well and fought so hard in their last 11 games. Well, it's been all downhill, and the only way they say to go when you reach the top is down. But it was rather sad yesterday. I don't want to continue the... no doubt he'll get a fair bit of mentioning in the paper this week, and other commentators will have their say. I'd like to commend to the Manly club at this point to just say to Graham Eadie, go away, take a holiday, don't come back, we don't want to see you till next February. You've had too much football. The man is not well, I don't believe. I think he's carrying injuries. And
he's got a bad back. Yeah.
And I think it should be him for 1979. I think they'd be doing a service. Also, I'd suggest they do the same with Ian Thompson. Not that he played all that badly yesterday, but it's not generally known that he played more football in 1978 than any other player in Sydney football, right through the season, right through the pre-season, season, Kangaroo Tour, all the training, the grind, and he's only a kid when all's said and done, and he's had a marginal season. I think he should be rested and brought back fresh. But for the rest, it was all South Sydney, and they played absolutely marvellous football. They had variety, they had specific tactics they used. They weren't going to play football in their own half. They used the tactical kick on a number of occasions very well. We even saw their front row forwards, Hamley, kicking and regaining the ball and scoring a try. He scored 2 on the day. It was a first-class performance from almost everybody in the South Sydney side, but Peake, Hamley, Wright, McMillan, Laurie, all of them were heroes.
About 4 times they did that. They caught them and pushed the Manly players back over the line.
But I hate to see a good player, a super player, playing well below his best, and Graham Eadie is a case in point at the moment.
He does have a bad back, and it was quite obvious yesterday. He couldn't get down to the ball a couple of times there. He couldn't get down when... who was it, Wright put it through, and Peake ended up scoring.
He's got a crook back from carrying the team for the most of the year and having the knockers on his back.
Well, and let's talking about fullback. What about a rap to the fullback too, young Grant Jones?
Yes, I already mentioned him. He scored 15 points.
It was rather remarkable in the reserve grade too, that Ferguson, playing in the reserve grade, scored 17 points out of the 20 points scored by the reserve grade side. Eric Ferguson wasn't a bad effort neither.
How do you rate Greg as a lock forward, this Rocky Laurie?
I think he's finally... Oh, I'm sorry.
Hey, do you mind? Is your name Greg?
Sorry, beg your pardon.
He's a fine player, Rex. He's been a fine player for many years, you know, and he does a good job with the South Sydney pack. He's got a lot of ability, you know? He reads the game well, and he can put himself in positions well, and he's a worker. He works pretty hard. I think he's a good player.
Sending off Gunner.
So I was just going to say he's a type of player that he flitted around in various positions for a while, out in the centres, 5, 8 and what have you, but it looks to me as if lock forward is definitely his spot in life.
Just before we go off that, there's a kid there in the centres for Manly, that little Blake they've brought up. My word, he's a good little player. Against West, he was...